What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Dakota.
What's up?
And my brother Derek.
What's up?
And this week we're going to be talking about Rear Window. I can't name any of the actors in this.
James Stewart? Is it James Stewart?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Grace Kelly.
Okay.
And Raymond Burr.
Got you. All right. Yes. This is a 1954. Yes, 1950s. No, I know the director, and I can't.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Thank you, Alfred Hitchcock. This is an Alfred Hitchcock movie, so
Yes.
any people who are big fans of his movies, you've probably seen this then.
Probably, yeah.
You've probably seen it. I will start off by saying that I like the concept of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole movie takes place through what James Stewart would you say?
I think his name is Jeff in the movie.
Okay, Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, so it takes place through his window.
Wait, is it James Stewart or Dean Stewart?
No, it's James Stewart is the actor.
Oh, okay.
His character name was
It's Jeff.
Jeff or Jeffries.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So it takes place through his window, and the entire movie, that is your vantage point.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that was a good idea. It's like you never leave his room.
Yeah.
And everything you see is what he sees
through his window,
which I thought was pretty ingenious. Like, honestly, watching this, I don't know how much you guys like. I enjoyed this movie.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
And I just really felt like this is how you make a movie.
Yeah.
Like something so simple but can still pull you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now, it creates that mystery. We don't know what is going on besides what our main character sees. I mean, obviously there are movies like that, but having this, we're in New York City and all we see is this courtyard basically in between the apartments. And that's all we get for the entire movie.
Yep.
I think that was really interesting. And I was like, that was surprisingly something new that I got from an old movie,
Yeah. And then I think also the same thing is like we're seeing people's lives through their apartment windows.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And even though the neighbors didn't truly matter to the story, we learned a lot about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was good because it's like they helped build a story even though a lot of them was really insignificant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for like the neighbors to not really say anything throughout the whole movie.
Not a single line of dialogue.
Yeah.
And most of them,
Yeah.
So, but the mystery part of this movie is the death of one of the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And our main character, Jeffrey, is convinced it's the husband. But how do you prove that when all you've got is this vantage point from your window? And he's stuck there because his leg is broken. And he's a photographer. So he took a picture of a race crash up close, I guess.
Yeah, I do want to bring up the opening scene. It's like we learned everything we need to know about Jeffries without them telling us a single thing. Then he gets that phone call that confirms everything, but it was just the perfect example of show don't tell.
Yeah.
We knew right away the guy's a photographer, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? You see the picture of the crash that he took where he injured his leg. You see his leg that says, like, this is this man's broken leg. He's screwed now. So I thought that was also something very interesting and good that happened.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. And like you said, you just learned so much about the neighbors. Even though not all of them have such important, like we got the newlyweds over there.
Right. And basically their shades was down.
Yeah, for the entire time. Well, the husband kept coming up.
I felt like the newlyweds, and maybe most of the other neighbors too, kind of represented, because a lot of James' fear with his relationship with what was her name in the movie, Lisa?
Maybe. Yes.
Lisa Fremont.
So I felt like a lot of that was like a life, whether or not he wanted that kind of life or not, right? So you see the newlyweds, so like at first they're all happy and stuff. Then at the end, it's like she's a nagging wife. He's like, I don't want to be tied down. So I felt like that maybe that was just kind of like a metaphor. Is a metaphor the word I'm looking for? Maybe not a metaphor, but y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Of a life that he doesn't want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, at first, I understood him because I was watching with my wife, and and basically his complaint about Lisa was that she was too perfect.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can understand that can happen. There is a person being too perfect, because you're like, well, how can they be too perfect? Oh, she's beautiful, she's a model, blah blah blah, too perfect. But it's like he isn't about that life, basically. Right, you know, he's talking about, you know, I go overseas in the Middle East taking pictures and stuff, you know, like in the dirt doing things while you have to be pristine. And I get what he was saying, but then after this movie, I'm like, bro, I don't know. I think you need to lock that down and just.
Well, she definitely proved to be like she was all in. She was down. She's like, I'll go dig up the flower bed. I'll climb up a fire escape and dress in a heels.
But it was 54 though, so I'm like,
that was her only option.
Yeah, I'm like, she's wearing heels.
Yeah, but here's my problem with I was annoyed by him is you never even gave her the chance to decide if she will even be willing to go live that life with you.
Right.
You was like, oh, she's too perfect. Her family is rich. She's into fashion, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you wrote her off without even giving her a chance to prove whether or not. Because to me, when she came in and she brought in takeout from a fancy restaurant, which is not a thing that happened in 54, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, she proved that she was all in. Like, she really loves you.
She
and you're just
bottle
like,
of wine.
Yeah, I mean, she got this boy take out lobster, and he's like, it's too perfect, all frowny face. I'm like, dude, I mean, get over yourself. But
yeah. So I liked her character too, and the nurse, his nurse that with very interesting people. I thought it was funny that at first Lisa, you know, because he notices that the wife is just missing. Well, first it was because the husband, what was their last name?
Thornwald.
Yeah.
Wald.
Thornwald.
Yeah, it ends in a D.
I got you. I got you. So the Thornwalds, the husband, he saw the husband like at like 3:00 in the morning, like leave the house and come back like 3 times.
Because he said he woke up to a scream.
Yeah, there was a scream. Yeah,
because he was asleep.
Yeah.
So that's the premise too. He's going by he killed his wife, but he didn't physically see it.
Yeah.
He heard a scream. He wakes up. He's leaving the house at 3 a.m.
And not only that, but back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah, like he left, he came back, he left, he came back.
In the rain.
And
carrying that suitcase.
Yeah. So it's like, what was the deal with that?
Yeah.
And so Lisa first is like giving all these excuses, but then it was funny because like he saw the guy tying up a box with some rope, and then she like fully on board after that point. She's like, okay, what did you say the story was again?
Yeah, just all in. Because not only that, but also the mattress was rolled up.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, were there mattresses that crappy in 54?
You could roll up. I don't know.
You could just roll it up and take it with you.
I mean, you could buy a rolled up mattress now, but
that was like on the bed.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have a hard time rolling it back up.
Yeah,
like once it inflates, and that's it. Yeah, I thought it was weird. Those mattresses was like 3 inches thick, and I was just like, I could never.
But you had the one family with
sleeping
the mattress
on the balcony or the fire escape.
Fire escape to escape the heat.
They were always on the fire escape, though. Yeah. That was the family that would lower their dog
yes.
in a basket.
Yeah. I'm like,
So they didn't walk their dog.
Yeah.
They just lowered it in a basket, and he did whatever. And then they will call him, and he comes back to the basket, and then they wheel the basket back up.
Which, I'm like, did y'all not leave y'all apartment?
I guess not, because I'm like, you couldn't just walk down 3 flights of stairs and walk your dog?
No. Apparently not.
Okay.
I mean, they put a pulley system up there and everything.
Yeah. I was like, that mattress is not reusable getting caught in the rain.
Yeah, they got caught in the rain.
That mattress has to be disgusting.
They got another mattress.
Because it was pouring down,
You
right?
got another mattress. You got a spare mattress in your closet?
Well, you just take the mattress. If it can roll up, I'm sure you can hang it somewhere and let it dry.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I got drawn into this movie, especially when the mystery aspect came through, because it's like, okay, what's going on? And then I'm questioning. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the Thornwalds killed his wife, but then I'm like, wait, did he? I don't know. They're giving some good explanations as to why it wouldn't be, but like, I feel myself being invested as like in it as much as Jeff is.
Yeah. It did. It really grabbed you in, and especially when like everyone was making sense. Like everything, Jeff was like, "Yep, that makes sense." And then at first, when Lisa was like, "Dude, no one's gonna murder their wife with the blinds open," I was like, "Oh, that's a good point." Yeah. Like, if I'm gonna murder you, I'm gonna close all the windows.
Yeah.
Right. Then the detective comes in making sense, but then Lisa was just like, "Well, I don't know. If she's traveling, why would she leave all her jewelry behind?" I was like, "Yeah."
Right, because her purse was left behind.
Her
with
purse,
jewelry
her jewelry, and her wedding ring, and I was like, "That's a good point. Like, if I know I'm gone, gone. Right. Even if she was divorcing him, maybe she leaves the wedding ring behind. But why would she leave her other stuff behind?"
Yeah. There was weird things on it.
Yeah.
I didn't need that. I mean, like, it was important for the movie. But to know that it was him, I'm like, I don't need to see her purse and jewelry left behind. I'm like, I don't know. He's acting really weird.
He is.
His wife is all of a sudden missing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. It's real strange.
Yeah. Well, I think the jewelry thing was the only thing that would connect her back to the house. Because if that's not left behind, then he could really just say, oh, she went visiting in some upstate New York City. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
But then the detective said that they verified that she picked up her luggage or something.
Yeah, and that's because he had to have some other woman involved. Because there's one time he came back, and he came back with a woman.
Yeah.
Which everybody was saying, well, it was Mrs. Thornwald. Oh, we're leaving out the fact that she was invalid.
But no, I think she was faking it, right? Because remember, she was all in the bed. And he goes on the phone. And he was on the phone. And then when he walks back in the room, she's standing out of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't mean she can't, like, get up. It means she can't, like, go around.
I kind of felt like she was playing that guy the entire time.
I don't think
Gets out the bed. Because see how mad he was when he was talking to her out of the bed?
Yeah, he got upset.
He was very upset.
And that was the day.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we'll never know, though.
So I took it as that she was faking how sick she was. That maybe at one point she was really sick, got better, and didn't say anything so he can keep taking care of her.
Yeah, because like she was laughing and everything, and he was really
upset.
He
was mad. And then that night she dies.
Yeah. Okay. I thought maybe she caught. Well, it couldn't be like a spur of the moment thing, no, because this was very well planned.
Oh no, I think he was bitter about her the entire time, and that was just the last straw. That's like, because he already had a mistress, right? And she was nagging him at the beginning of the movie, and he wasn't appreciating it. And so I think with that, when she gets out the bed and he's like, you put me through all of this and you can walk.
I think instead of faking it, I think she was really invalid, and she was catching on to him having the mistress in that phone conversation is what she got up to listen. And then now she figured out that he had the mistress.
But she was laughing though, right?
Well, laughing doesn't mean you find it funny.
And I don't know. I think she was like, ha ha ha, my legs work, and he was just like.
Now I'm gonna have to watch that scene over again.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a theory. A film. Okay, never mind. All right, so okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I was just like trying to figure out how do they prove that he did it. I was pretty sure it was him. And then the one thing was the dog kept digging up something in the garden. Yeah. And then eventually the dog was killed. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. That seemed like a bad look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
because the flowers were his.
Yeah, but it was like, think about it. Before the dog dies, Lisa convinced him like this is it, because that's when the detective guy comes back and says Mr. Thornwall picked up the crate or whatever, and everyone like it's all good. Like you guys are stressing over nothing. This lady's not dead. She just went on a trip.
Yeah.
So Lisa was like, you know what? Okay, we're being silly. It's over. We're gonna stop paying attention to this man because we didn't bring out how in the beginning, apparently, and this part didn't really make sense, that the wife has sent a postcard to her husband saying, "Hey, I made it okay." Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you cannot get nothing mailed that quickly.
Right.
Like he drops her off at the train station, and then 12 hours later the postcard
he gets a
is
postcard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's suspicious.
that's suspicious.
Yeah.
That's suspicious. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the postcard evidence and the crate was supposed to be full of clothes, and the confirmation that she had picked up the crate or whatever, there's like, okay, this man didn't murder his wife.
Right.
And then he turns around and kills the dog. Well, now I know it's you.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because he kept fighting with the dog digging into his flower bed.
When the dog was found dead, all the neighbors come out because, the owner screams. Everybody opens their window and look, but Thornwall is like in the dark with a cigarette, I guess, or something.
Just smoking a cigar in the dark, not concerned whatsoever. And it's like a woman screams, everyone goes to look out what is happening, except for him.
He was the only one that did.
Yeah.
So now Lisa's back on board.
Yep. And then they call Stella, who's the nurse. I don't think we ever said her name.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Who also has been all in from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
Lisa, I'm like, girl, I'm gonna need you now. The first time they sent the letter to him, like, one of those I know what you did last summer type of deals. Right. So basically they're like, we know it was you, come meet us or whatever. And so she goes in there and slides the letter under the door, and I'm like, man, get out of the apartment.
She goes to the first floor.
Yeah, I'm like, she's gonna get caught. Yeah, but they do convince him to leave the apartment so they can go digging in the flower bed, which he had already removed.
Yeah, he already removed the item that was in the flower bed.
Yeah. So they decide to go look through his apartment, which Lisa is still in there when he gets back.
Yeah.
But she found the wedding ring?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know. Now, I get that makes sense from a legal standpoint. Is that enough evidence to say he killed his wife, the wedding ring being at the house?
No.
Yeah, because we don't know her habits, right?
Yeah. No, you would figure from a thing, if everything is all cool, she's not leaving her wedding ring behind.
Right.
But he could explain that away.
Yeah.
To say, hey, there's problems in the marriage. She went away.
Right.
Left the ring behind because she's not sure she's coming back. So could have been easily explained.
Yeah.
It proves Jeff's and Lisa's theory, but it doesn't really provide evidence that the wife is murdered.
Yeah. But she gets saved because Jeff smartly, before he even got in the apartment, he called the police and said it was a woman being attacked, which I'm like, yo, that was smart. That was smart. So the police get there before anything got too bad for Lisa.
I do feel like the cops were being way too nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we knocking nicely on the door? Don't you hear this lady being attacked? Like, run up in there.
Hey, I don't know.
I felt like they was being a little nonchalant about saving a lady from getting beat. But what do I know?
Yes. I'm blanking on how Thornwall found out it was Jeff. Did he see him? He saw him in the window? Or?
Yeah, because Lisa signaled to him, I have the wedding ring.
Yeah.
And I think that's when Thornwall looked across and saw Jeff and Stella staring back at him. And then that's when Thornwall went up to the apartment to attack Jeff.
Yeah. Jeff's still in the wheelchair with a broken leg, by the way.
Yes.
So,
And his apartment was a step down. It was not ADA approved. So he could...
he couldn't get out the apartment.
Yeah.
Also, his bedroom door was locked, and he couldn't unlock it.
Yeah. So just all struggles for Jeff.
Yeah. So Thornwall gets there. He stops him by using the flash on his camera. Which is really bright, but I'm like, I don't know. After the first time, don't you think to close your eyes or something?
I think we've proven that Thorwald wasn't the smartest man.
Yeah. But anyway, he tries to throw Jeff out of the window.
He does throw Jeff out the window.
He does.
Oh yeah, okay. He does throw Jeff out of the window. With the best cinema window fall ever. The best looking.
I openly laughed at that. Like
they could put some like mats down and have a stunt person like actually fall.
Yeah. Well, did you notice in the scene before that when the people are running out of the apartment building? Like, why did we speed them up running?
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
I was like, just show people running. Like, why did we have to fast forward the tape?
Maybe they took it and then they thought it was too slow.
And it sped it up.
But anyway, since everyone saw him try to murder Jeff, you at least get attempted murder, and plus they can get all the rest of the stuff on his wife.
Yeah.
So Thorwald gets caught. Jeff now has 2 broken legs. Yeah. Which the one that was already broken is probably really messed up.
Oh yeah, he probably definitely broke that thing. He'll have a limp for the rest of his life.
Yeah. And I think
he was a week away from getting out of the cast.
Yeah. But now he can spend more time watching his favorite TV show.
Yeah.
Which was his Neighbors.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. After that, I don't know. I might be done watching my Neighbors.
Well, he witnessed a murder. I mean, well, how often would you witness a murder, though?
That is true. But Thorwald was done. Like, we didn't bring up all of the clues.
Yeah.
Like just saw him washing the machete in the kitchen sink.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, okay, so what do we think Thorwald did? So you think, I say with all the trips is he killed her and then he cut her body up.
Yes.
And he had it in a suitcase.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he had to keep coming back for the different parts.
Because the suitcase they showed him cleaning out the suitcase when he got back the last time and putting the jewelry back in because he was a jewelry salesman.
Yeah.
So he chops her up. What Stella said, he chops her up in the bathroom.
Yeah, because it's easy to wash.
It's easy to wash it all down. And because all of her body parts couldn't fit in the suitcase, he had to make multiple trips to the river
and to
dispose of the body.
Yep.
And then another thing that Jeff said is that night he didn't sleep in the bedroom. He slept on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just like, why wouldn't you be in the bedroom?
Right.
Then we see the mattress all rolled up because that one's probably screwed.
Right.
Oh, is it like covered in blood?
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And then he was I don't know why he took so long to take off.
Yeah, he took several days to leave.
Yeah.
Well, he had to the story had to work out, so he couldn't just leave because then people were asking questions. So it's like he made sure he told the landlord that he sent his wife off first, and he was going a few days later.
And then he got the postcard that she made it.
Yeah, and then he had the moving people. They took the box of items and stuff. So like he had to have all that in motion.
Yeah, but that was all like day 1, right?
Hey, listen, I don't know.
So I just felt like day 2.
I mean, technically, but yeah.
Yeah, he should have been out.
In real life, it wouldn't have happened that fast, but it's a movie.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. We didn't talk about some of the neighbors. You got the dancer lady who likes dancing in her underwear, I guess.
Miss Torso?
Oh, Miss Torso.
The neighbors don't have names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get that you're a ballet dancer or whatever. Cool. And why are you just dancing in your underwear?
Well, they didn't really have like real good workout gear, right?
Back then, no.
But she's like in her kitchen.
You see how small that apartment was? It probably was just the kitchen.
Okay. Each apartment was just one room.
No, Miss Lonely Heart had 3 rooms.
Oh, that's true. Miss Lonely Heart, who almost killed herself.
Man, I'm like, man, if y'all don't go down there and save Miss Lonely Heart.
Well, they were about to call, weren't they?
But then they got distracted and forgot to call.
Yeah, but then she heard the music from the piano player who seemed very depressed.
He was.
Yeah. And then so they got together. So she's no longer Miss Lonely Heart, and she didn't end up killing herself. It was kind of sad. She had dinner with herself every night.
Yeah, the first time I saw that scene, because I was like looking at something else, and I thought like I missed the guy walking into the apartment, and I'm like, oh, I must have missed it. And I was like, oh no, she's talking to herself.
She's talking to herself. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. She even pretended like he came in and kissed her on the cheek, and
I felt so bad for Miss
I need
Lonely
more
Hearts.
of that story. Like, did her husband die or something? You know.
Maybe, or maybe she just never found love, or just
I don't know. She needs a therapy session.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we saw that. The Newlyweds we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You had the one artist. It wasn't much about her. She was in the lower apartment.
yeah.
Yeah, I think she was probably the only one that just didn't have much of a story, really.
Yeah.
She was just, I guess, the nosy neighbor, even though I guess Jeff is really the one.
The nosy neighbor.
He's the nosy neighbor.
Yeah.
And then
the older married couple who was sleeping on the fire escape.
Yeah. So interesting group of people. But yeah, it really worked out. I thought very well put together. I was definitely drawn into this movie more so than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was just like, it was a classic movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it.
It caught my attention like 5 minutes in.
Well, yeah.
Like 5 minutes in, I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued now.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, I was like, oh, is it called Rear Window? Because we're just going to be like looking out this window.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it was.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. But I agree with you guys. Like I was into it.
Uh-huh.
Like I was like, I want to know the story. The only thing that kind of ruined the story for me is that I seen Disturbia.
Yep, same.
And Disturbia is like a
modern
remake of the.
Yeah, it's a modern remake of it.
Okay. I haven't seen Disturbia.
Oh my goodness.
You're
With
not,
Shia LaBeouf.
I know it's Shia LaBeouf in it.
You're not really missing out.
He should still watch it.
Is it? But I thought it's not like only from the vantage point of the window.
No. That part, no. The Disturbia is more of the same concept, as in he sees his neighbor being weird.
Yeah.
And he wants to check it out.
Yeah.
But this time he's locked down because he's under house arrest.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So he
can't leave the yard.
Yeah, he can't leave the yard.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was awoken up by some weird noises too.
Oh.
He saw a woman go in the house, but she never left the house. He never seen her leave.
Okay.
Yeah. But no one believes him.
Right. So that was the only thing that ruined it me, because I'm like, Thornwell is definitely guilty because I seen Disturbia. So.
Yep. Yep.
But even then, even with all of that, the story was still very intriguing.
Yeah. Well, because like from my vantage point, I'm trying to figure out like, well, okay, how do they find out? Is it him? And then do Thornwell gets wind that they're watching him? So it was like from my vantage points of, I was looking at those points to see what it would be.
If Thornwell was smart, he would just let Jeff and Lisa go.
Yeah,
because there wasn't a case.
Yeah,
it wasn't a case. They couldn't prove anything.
But I guess he doesn't know that.
And he could have just left.
True, because the detectives are basically already told him like, y'all being silly. So it.
Yeah, well, until they found his wife's body in the river.
If they found her body in the river, well, you know what? I don't know. He probably just emptied out the suitcases. Those body parts would definitely floating back up.
Yeah. If
Good
not
point.
all of them, something.
Yeah. Very good point.
So it would have come back on him eventually.
Yeah.
But then they would have to find him.
You think he was smart enough? Like, where was he?
He was still going to be in the U.S. They would have found him.
They would have found him.
Because where was the train trip to?
It was some place in upstate New York.
Yeah, still in the same state.
Yeah, they'd have still found him. It's like, okay, so I was reading this book, right? And so the guy's like on the run from the law, and he hides out in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, the U.S. territory?
Hey, he was in a different country.
But I'm like, bro, you're still in the U.S.
Yeah, they could just go get you.
They could just go get you.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense. That just instantly turned me off.
Or take someone.
He should have went to Cuba.
Or someone from Puerto Rico recognizing who he is.
Right.
And
yeah, as if they don't get our news channels.
Yeah. Yeah, like
and all they had to do was just call the local authorities.
Yeah, I'm like, you're hiding out in Puerto Rico? Like, it's gonna be hard for them to find
Actually,
you there.
any other Caribbean nation you could have gone to. That's not Puerto
ridiculous.
Rico.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, how is this logic? And he's supposed to be like, like a super secret agent, and you hide out from U.S. government people in the
You're
US.
an agent? Yeah, okay. Then you
go. Yeah, he wasn't a regular guy.
Okay, you go to Russia, bro. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's probably, it sucks, but
yeah, it was just so bizarre, and I'm
no
like,
one's gonna be looking for it.
Yeah, or China. It's probably better than Russia.
Yeah.
I think China.
I mean, like, I get why he picked Puerto Rico. I just like, I don't think this was a good idea. So anyway, my point was that Thorwald hiding out in upstate New York, like,
he would have got caught eventually.
He would have got caught.
Yes, he would have. All right. I guess we're on to movie facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Random movie facts.
Okay, so this movie made $36 million.
Okay. All right.
That's good money for.
So was that like 150 million?
I probably should have looked it up. I did not, because the budget was only $1 million.
Oh wow! Wow.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah, they made some bank there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You guys can let me know what that is. So this is actually based on a short story by a guy named Cornell Woolrich. The name of the story was "It Had to Be Murder." There is some difference between the short story and this movie, though.
Okay.
So in the short story, there are no additional neighbors. That was an addition added by Hitchcock, which I think was a good idea. And I also believe in the story, you didn't find out the guy's leg was broken until the end of it.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like what? So Hitchcock actually was inspired by 2 different murder cases for this story. One was in 1910, in which a Dr. Howley Crippen killed his wife and told everyone. So he was from London, I believe. And told everyone that she had moved to America. But then people grew suspicious when they saw him around town with his secretary. And then later on, they found his wife's body parts in the house. And then there was a 1924 case in which Patrick Mohan, where he dismembered his pregnant girlfriend and then threw her body parts out of a train window.
Oh.
But he didn't know what to do with her head. So I'm like, throw it out the window. I don't need to.
So yeah, throw with the rest of it. Would like why? Well, you're like but the head I can't throw out the window. I mean, it would have come back to you anyway. That was dumb. Throwing it out the window was kind of stupid.
Yeah. With the rate of inflation, it is insane.
What is it?
431 million.
Oh, a very successful movie.
That's insane.
Very successful.
Yeah.
That just show you how bad inflation is.
Well, I mean, we're talking from 1954 to now.
I was going to say that. Now, this is kind of a side note. But we were talking about inflation. Because I saw something they were talking about the first Spider-Man movie. And it made like 800, or the second Spider-Man movie made like $800 million or something, blah blah. I'm like, we going crazy over all these Marvel movies making $1 billion. I was like, the early ones
were more successful.
Yeah, I was like, with inflation, made $1 billion. I know, I know it didn't cross the $1 billion mark technically, but
you're right, yeah.
But yeah, but by rate of inflation, yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, good point. So as we know, this entire movie was shot on one movie set.
Yeah.
The set cost $72,000 to build, which is roughly $730,000 in today's money. It consisted of 31 apartments, 12 of which was fully furnished. Some of the buildings were 5-story high. The courtyard was actually had to be set below grade, so that was actually 20 to 30 feet below grade, and they actually took out the soundstage floor so that they can build the courtyard in the basement of the studio.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. The apartments were actually fully functional with electricity and running water.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. And
were the actors staying there?
Miss Torso actually lived in her apartment.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So oddly enough, yes. So the set was actually set up so they can simulate different times of the day. Had its own draining system for them, so when that it rained, the water can go away. But the lights were extremely hot and set off the sprinklers.
Oh.
And then another interesting about this movie, all of the sounds that we hear it's from the world of the movie. Of course, we get like that opening music, but everything else is from the world of the movie.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah, there was no music or anything that was put into the movie besides what was being played or shown. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, pretty good. So this was actually modeled out of a neighborhood from Greenwich Village in Manhattan, which is fancy. They were going to shoot on location, but for some reason they didn't. They decided to build a whole apartment block on stage.
Okay.
Well, fair enough, because then you have to find 12 empty apartments.
That is true. He couldn't do what he wanted to do. That's a good point. But did the apartments need running water, though?
No.
No.
They didn't. Miss Torso didn't need to live, but I guess you don't have to have a what do you call it? Like an RV or whatever.
Yeah, or a trailer.
Trailer,
she
yes.
She wasn't getting a trailer. She was young. She was 17, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, now I know why she lived in the apartment.
Yeah, so Lisa, like, in that opening scene, actually, I liked all of her outfits.
Oh, Lisa's outfits were dope. They're on point.
Yeah, I like those outfits. And also, I want to bring out, this is the first movie I've ever seen with Grace Kelly in it. I hear a lot about Grace Kelly, right?
Right.
But this is my first time seeing her, and I was like, oh, she was very pretty, and I kind of I get the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, okay.
The one dress that she got, I forgot. I watched this movie 2 weeks ago. I did look up how much it was worth.
I was getting to that. That's okay. Why so that dress was $1,100, which is expensive today.
Yeah.
$11,675.
Yep.
Which is insane. I just spent $200 on clothes, and I'm like, oh, that was too much money.
An $11,000 dress. So I can. That's why I was like, I can see where he was going at first. Like she's too. Like that's too much for me. I honestly, I don't care. Even if I'm marrying a rich person, I'm like, yo, you got an $11,000 dress on. Like that's too much, man.
Like that's insane. But my thing is, he prejudged her.
He did.
True.
He did.
And it was.
I mean, they proved that.
And unnecessarily too.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so at the end, last scene, she's reading the Himalayas book, right? And then she's like, all right, I'm going to go back to my fashion magazine. Like, why couldn't she be interested in both?
Right.
You know, she could be high fashion and also be willing to travel.
I feel like they will have lots of fun together.
Oh, yeah.
Solving mysteries of their neighbors.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, after all of this, dude, if you don't lock that down, you're insane.
Yeah.
Just absolutely insane. Okay. So that takeout dinner she got him was from a restaurant called 21, which is a expensive, exclusive restaurant in New York City. Really does exist. Closed in 2020 because of COVID.
Oh, that's sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. And then the guy who played the Thornwall, the husband, is Raymond Burr, who played Perry Mason.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's Perry Mason. Then I realized I've never actually seen Perry Mason.
I haven't either.
I was always thinking of the one that Andy Griffin was in. What was the one? Matlock.
Matlock
I've seen.
Was it like, didn't our great aunt, wasn't she always watching Perry Mason or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Which is true. So
there's a remake on HBO Max.
I did watch that. Or at least the first episode, anyways. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then interesting, we talked about the couple on the fire escape with the mattress.
Yeah.
And when it's raining, they're trying to like get the mattress back into the house.
Yeah.
The reason they were struggling is because Alfred Hitchcock told them 2 different directions.
Uh-huh.
So he told her to go one way and him to go the other way. So that struggle was real. And them falling through the window was real.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like stuff like that because you get
the realism.
Yeah.
Realism.
Yeah. All right. Nitpicks.
Well, I have one movie fact. Because it's a Alfred Hitchcock movie, and they rank movies. So out of top 100 movies all time, this movie is ranked 48.
Okay.
I can see that. Like, this is a solid movie.
It's a solid movie, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now are we ready for nitpicks?
Nitpicks.
Yep. Pick some nits.
So this one isn't really a nitpick. This is just more of a question.
Okay.
So dude broke his leg.
Yeah.
But that cast was all the way up his torso.
Right.
Like, I'm like, did he also break his butt or something? Like, I just didn't understand why that cast needs to be so high.
I felt like that's just how they did stuff back then.
But it was so aggressive.
So? I don't know.
I think so.
It was super high. And it was a car crash, so maybe he did break like a hip or something.
I don't know.
I took it as that's how they did things, because a lot of things back then was like a little excessive, whereas it's like now with technology we know, like, okay, now people, if they break their foot is not in a cast, it's in a boot.
Well,
most
it
cases
depends on how it's done.
Yes, like if you have like multiple compound fractures, is in a cast. But his leg could have been too, because it was a car
or maybe
race car
they
crash.
wanted to make sure he really didn't move it.
I was just like, that torso cast. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, it stopped mid-thigh.
It was up here. It was like wrapped around his
And
stomach.
what he was hitting on his leg, that scratcher did not reach that scratch.
No, that scratcher wasn't doing nothing. Not at all. Okay. So I'm still gonna nitpick Jeff complaining about Lisa. They're talking about like, we need to keep the stuff status quo. Basically breaks up with her, and then she like, I'm out. He's like, wait, where are you going?
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh.
Right.
And then Lisa has some conviction.
She's be back
tomorrow. I'm like, Lisa, look at this man. But he probably needed her help. I feel like she was also going over there to help him out at night when the nurse wasn't there.
Yeah.
So she probably had to come back. I'd have just been like an hour late, let him suffer a little bit. Like, oh, you need me, huh? So, but whatever. I agree. If I'm gonna murder someone and hiding all the evidence, I'm gonna close the blinds.
Yeah.
I might close up the blinds.
Or maybe leave them closed. They kept opening them.
Yeah. Well, but maybe because it was so hot.
Oh,
and they don't have
everybody
AC.
had their windows open. Yeah.
Right. Because that's why Jeffrey's window was open.
Yeah. And then I still gotta agree with, like, if she packed up all of her clothes, she's taking her jewelry with her.
Yes.
In the purse. Like, that just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So the camera flash, like, I got he was gonna like shoot him in the face with a camera flash. I was expecting something more bright and extreme.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is all he sees.
I forgot that those light bulbs were one-time use. I was like, oh, gosh. Bruh, man, you need some modern technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting a multi-flash.
Right? I'm like, oh, man, now the light bulb is gone. He got to put a new one in. Just too much work.
Why was he walking so slow? Like, I mean, like, after the first flash, I can get to you before you get a new light bulb in there.
Like, I mean, like, Thornwall attacked this man. Just moving on slow. And then you struggling with a one-legged man. Come on.
And a wheelchair.
Okay, so my last nitpick. Thornwall. They ain't got no evidence against you.
No.
Why are you confessing? Now, they're going to get you on attempted murder on Jeff.
Yeah.
That's true. They got you on attempted murder. But, they didn't have you on your wife, dude.
No.
They didn't have nothing.
Until her body floated up the river. But no, that was just for the movie. You know how in the movies and it's like, and the bad guy served 20 years in prison. It's like, yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like, okay, well, now we got to tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Although, what do y'all guys think was buried in the flower bed?
Oh yeah, we never answered that. Her finger? I don't know.
I think it was her finger or maybe her hand, because when the nurse made the mention of, I'm not taking my wedding ring off my hand. Only way this is coming off is if you take the finger.
See, I was thinking it was her head.
Oh, because of the one guy who didn't know what to do with his girlfriend's head?
No, I mean, that helps my theory. But because they said that they found a piece of her in a hat box.
Oh.
So I'm like, the hat box is a nice square box, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, ooh. It might be, because maybe his same thought is, all the identifiers is in her head. Dental identification, all that type of stuff.
Are they using dental work in 1950?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Well, didn't face.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he got X-rays.
That will be the only thing. Yeah.
So then, if they find her body
not
parts,
doing DNA.
then they wouldn't be able to identify if it was Mrs. Thornwall or not.
Right. Without the head, you can't prove that it's Mrs. Thornwall.
Yeah.
No, back then. Now today, they approve it, but
that's true.
It still would make it difficult.
But
Yeah.
But they do DNA today.
Well, yeah, but there's no fingerprints back in the 50s, is there?
I don't know.
If you never got fingerprinted. No.
Yeah, she would have to have been fingerprinted. And then,
Yeah, so if she has never been fingerprinted.
Right.
No,
all her jewelry is gone, so there's no
jewelry is
so
gone.
you can't say, oh, she always wore that. Oh, he took her head, so.
Right. So so he probably would have gotten away with it. And that would definitely make sense on why he killed the dog.
Well, yeah, because the dog was digging it up. I know why he killed the dog. I'm just saying, let's be a little more incognito. Like, he snapped the neck and left it in the middle of the courtyard.
Yeah, just have the dog go.
Oh yeah, missing. The dog would have just been missing.
Just missing. Not. He strangled a dog, which is insane.
Yeah.
What kind of I literally said, what kind of crazy person strangles a dog?
True.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah. Yes, I think it was her head, and I don't think he knew what to do with it.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know, throw it in the Hudson. You threw one part in the East River, throw the other part in the Hudson.
They would put that together.
I wouldn't have buried it in my backyard.
No, that's true.
No one would have looked though.
Maybe.
Not back there.
No. Somebody would have we're gonna change the courtyard.
That, but I just named 2 cases where men chopped up their body, and one was in 1910.
So it wasn't a good place to hide it, I would say.
No, not at all. I'd have did something else.
Yeah, put it in the sewer. I don't know.
that yeah. Well, I don't know. Back then, that might have led to the river.
Oh. Oh, horrible hygiene standards. Okay. All right. So then, are we ready to rate it?
We are.
Okay, I'm gonna give it. I pay for that. I think it was a really good movie. It's very well done. If you haven't seen it, I would say this is a much-watched movie.
I agree.
For moviegoers.
Like sometimes I'll be sleeping on classics, but
yeah,
this was a high. I'll pay for that.
Yeah. Every classic we've watched has been pretty good.
Not a single one has disappointed.
Yeah. I give it I pay for that too.
Yeah. And I mean the classics like 40s, 50s,
not
60s, not 70s, 80s. I know,
No. Like I was thinking like when we watched Psycho
and Misery.
Oh, that was the 90s.
Oh, that was 90s, yeah.
Yeah, but like Psycho, Misery, this movie Cujo was really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like all of the movies we've seen from 1990 onward has been solid. Yeah, I haven't. Maybe because I'm selective. Like, am I watching a classic movie?
I'm pretty sure there are bad movies.
Well, I mean, when you put the name in, I'm like, what is this? And then when I looked it up, I'm like, 1954. I'm like, okay.
Hey, you know what? What needs to stop happening is I turn on Amazon and be like, Rear Window's playing. I was like, that's a famous movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It works out. Then I feel like can you really go wrong with Alfred Hitchcock? At this point, I'm going to say no.
No, yeah, it's probably a good movie.
Yeah.
No, he's famous for a reason.
True.
Yeah. All right. That's our thoughts on Rear Window. Again, I'll say it. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's a pretty good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And when you watch it, let us know what your thought about it in the comments below, and we will catch you in the next one.